Dear hopefuls, hello, I'm back. I'm so sorry for the last week of month of videos. It's been busy, but I had a wonderful time in Australia. There are loads of vlogs going up on my channel about it, and I'm sure I'll drop things in as we go along, but it was so lovely to be back. But it's also nice being back here, and I'm loving the wintry weather. Oh, and the autumn leaves, it makes me so happy. I love it. I think I drank more tea in the first 2 days I got back compared to all my time in Australia. Now, I know this month's theme is to go back and watch old videos, and there's a lot there that I would love to go back and have a look at and do things with, but what I'm gonna do is respond to some of your videos because, again, it's been a while and I was watching them and I just had so many thoughts. So I'm just gonna talk about the last 3 videos because I'm filming this Saturday night, so KATIE-REBEKAH, you've not yet uploaded for this week. I don't know if you will, but even just in those 3 videos, I was like, oh, there's so much to respond to, so let's chat. Now, Sam, you were talking about your book report for November, and you'd already mentioned in a vlog about Daisy Jones and the Six, and then you mentioned it again on this channel, and I wanted to read it too. It's been on my to-read list for a while, although I wasn't totally sold on it, as in before I started reading it. I'd heard so much about it, but it just didn't appeal to me. I thought it was, 70s rock band, I don't really care. But then we read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I was just sold. I was so sold on Taylor Jenkins Reid. So I read it, and I literally finished it about 20 minutes ago. And the thing that Taylor Jenkins Reid does that I think is so incredible and clever is she makes you care about this fictional person or band or people. And I don't care. I think I spoke about this when we were talking about Evelyn Hugo. I generally in life don't care about celebrities. I'm very sort of distant from that world. And I don't care about the gossip or what they get up to or things like that. And yet from these books, it makes me see how people are that way. And it's so fascinating. And I think it's so cleverly done. And I now want to find every other book written by her and read it. This one I did listen to as an audiobook, and it was very nice to have the different voices. Although I did sometimes forget. Every so often they didn't say who they were at the start, and then I'd forget which voice was meant to be who. But I still really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. I loved the writing style of the interviews. How many books I've read this month? I think that was only my second. No, I probably read more because I flew back. And I always read loads when I'm flying. So maybe that was my third? I'm gonna guess that was my third. Or maybe it was my fourth. I know I finally finished the Julie Kaplan series. So maybe I read 2 of those books this month. And then I read a non-fiction, and then I read this one. So that's 4. And I'm debating whether or not I can fit 1 more in. But I think we can go for 5. I've still got a week. I think I can read a book in a week. I'll just pick a slightly shorter one. I mean, Daisy Jones and the Six, I think I read in 3 or 4 days. She's got a good writing style, that woman. Anyway, your Iris Beagle Hall series that you mentioned last year, at the time, I was like, I need to find this series. This sounds so perfect for me. And I just couldn't find it anywhere, not in a library, not online, just nowhere. I mean, I probably could have bought them, but I couldn't find them anywhere to borrow. And I don't want to buy books at the moment because I'm planning to move and I just don't want to be schlepping more books across. And then you mentioned about it's coming up to December, which is already mad in and of itself, and that you want to read more Christmas books. I do too. I feel like I've started late this year. Usually I start with my Christmas, 1st of November, it's Christmas. And I've not even considered, I literally didn't consider it until you mentioned it in the video that I watched a couple of days ago. So I need to get on the Christmas books for December as well. But so that's 1 reading goal for December. But then my second reading goal is I brought back 1 Dutch book from Australia because I wanted to. And I have a number of Dutch books that I've never read that I've had on my shelf in Australia for however many years. And this one is by an author who I read another book of years ago, probably a decade ago. And I was obsessed and blown away by that book. Now, obviously that was, as I say, at least 10 years ago, I think. So I've changed. My preferences in reading might have changed. My Dutch may not be as strong, or I may not appreciate it as much, or maybe I'll appreciate it more. I don't know how I'm gonna take to this book. And also the topic of the book was something I really connected to. And I don't know if I'm gonna feel the same way about this book, but I'm gonna wait until the 1st of December and then start reading it because it's a physical copy, so I can read it sort of alongside any audiobook I might choose. And also, one book being English and one book being Dutch, it'll be easier to differentiate them in my mind. Okay, then Katie-Rebekah, you were talking about a clip you saw of Carrie and Scott having something with a headband, and I feel like, I don't have TikTok, but I feel like I did see the start of that clip. And you know what? People always do this. People who have Instagram and TikTok, they always post the first like 20 seconds or 10 seconds of their TikTok on Instagram and say, you can watch it here. And I don't have TikTok and I really don't plan on downloading it. So it's very frustrating for me because I'm like, just post the whole thing on Instagram. So yes, if you are able to download it somehow or even just film your computer or something, I don't know, can you get TikTok on your computer? You probably can. That'd be great. I'd love to see the whole clip. And then Sam, you were reflecting on the bucket list from 8 years ago, and when I saw the title of your video, I only just watched it, but when I saw the title of it, I knew exactly which video you were referring to, because back in the day, back in the good old days, no, I don't want to say good old days, they're just as good now, if not better, but we did weekly themes, and I remember us talking about doing a bucket list theme, and I remember filming the bucket list theme. I haven't watched it back, and I don't remember what I said in it, and I'd be very curious to look at that. But equally, I don't, and the reason, like, I could do it for this video, but the reason why I'm not doing it is because I wonder if there are things on there that I want to save for a My Name is Raquel video. I keep forgetting that I've changed my channel. I keep typing My Name is Kelly, and it's not. Well, it's not. But anyway, you were talking about the various things you've done, and you know, you did do 5 things and you did do a couple of others, but not in the year. And then you dropped the fact that you hadn't yet met Dave, and that is crazy to me. Like, I was just watching it like, oh, this is nice, you know, nice to hear sort of Sam's reflections on it all. And then you mentioned that, and my brain, I think, just broke for a moment. Because you'd also said about, like, there were things you were doing now that you hadn't even considered 8 years ago. And I was thinking, well, obviously the kids and, you know, maybe some other things. But I don't think it crossed my mind that you hadn't yet met Dave. That's, anyway. And then you said about skydiving being on your bucket list. And I would be curious to see if it was on my bucket list. I mean, I'm fairly certain it would have been, because I think that was the year. Oh, was it that year or maybe the year after I went skydiving for the first time? No, it was the year after, 2017, I went skydiving for the first time. But I did have to laugh that you sort of mentioned it and pointed it out. I presume my bucket list would have mostly been like travel related. That's what I would imagine, but I don't know. Because I think Katie-Rebekah also spoke about travel related stuff, unless that was a different video. But it is funny to me that your skydiving was like absolutely not even touching that, whereas your parasailing was like, I'd consider it. Because I feel like that's very, very much in the same vein. You know, both kind of adventurous, thrill-seeking things. Anyway, that's my first proper sit-down video of this month, I think. And it's decently long, actually, I'm surprised. But I probably cut, I don't know, have I cut stuff? We'll find out together. And I've almost finished my tea, so timing worked well. But hopefully I will see you all next week. In December? What? What? Wow. Life moves quickly, man. Life moves quickly. I feel like a couple of days ago I was saying, oh, it's only 6 weeks until New Year. And now it's like basically a month until New Year. Brain can't function at that. Anyway, I don't know what our theme is for December. Probably something Christmassy, which if it is Christmassy, and I will double check what our writing is, but if it is Christmassy, I'm gonna make a motion, is that what it's called? To change it to holiday themed, because it's not just Christmas. Even though I do love Christmas, let's be real. But then knowing us, it could also just be a theme like animals or lights or, I don't know, tea. Tea would be a good theme, actually. I don't know if we've spoken about themes for next year. Knowing Sam, you've probably like made a list already, but I should probably have a look at that. We should have a look at that. All right, anyway, bye.